Hello, I'm going to give you a pretty quick tutorial on how to use Book Creator and show you a few things you can do when you are creating a book and how to make those within Book Creator. So this is your front page when you come into Book Creator. Your library will pop right up when you come in. So here are the books I've already created. This one is a blank one to work on. Here's the one I have created before for a class. So if I want to even create a new book, I go here and it gives me some options for plain ones. It even gives me some options for comic book ones. And then if I click on templates, it even gives me some options for specific types of books. So I have newspapers, photo book, cookbooks, yearbook page, fiction books, just a notebook for keeping notes or for having students make notebooks for classes, magazines, textbooks. There's also different themes you can create depending on what you were wanting your students to do. So I'm just going to go in and click on a blank one so you can see everything that there is to use in Book Creator. So it's pretty simple. You just have your blank canvas here for each page, and depending on how many pages you want, so this one already automatically has 3, you just go over here and click the plus button and add as many pages as you're going to make. So depending on what you're wanting your students to make or make a book of is probably going to depend on how many pages they're going to need. So up here on the plus button, there's a few different buttons. So I can click on import. I can find images on the web just through Google. There you can even create a map if you're working on books about maps and add that. I can just add a computer file here. I can add anything that is on my drive, so I just need to connect my drive, especially if you use Google Classroom or anything like Google Drive with your students, so that way they have everything connected right here. I can also embed any different types of links here. So it says YouTube, Google Forms. So like I said, the Google Classroom, you can set up your Google Classroom through here as well, depending on the type of a book or whatever you are working on with your students. So I'm just going to search for a quick image since it's spring. Let's find just a quick Easter picture. So I will just click this, add it, and then now I have the cover for my page, for my front cover here. So then I could import some text. So when it comes up, anything you want to add comes in here. So I could say this is going to be my Easter book. Done. So when you want to edit the text, there's this little I right up here. And any text box that you create, you can come over here and rearrange the text however you want it. So I'm just going to go and center it. I can center it within the little text box itself. I can make the text bigger. I can also change the fonts as well. So you can pick any depending on the types of books that you're creating. They have lots of different fonts for students to choose from. I can pick a different color, and they even have just the custom color wheel in here as well. And I can apply that. I can even add a background color to my book if I wanted it. You can create columns depending on the types of books you're wanting your students to do or the type of information you want your students to add. I can add a shadow, so there's lots of different things you can do with the font itself. So then the pages itself, I can create different backgrounds for my page depending on what I'm wanting to do. They even have different categories for really fun backgrounds. So that way it just makes it even more personal to the students. So you can even add paper backgrounds to help students keep everything in line, or if they're doing a math book, something like that. Even music they can do. So it really just depends on what you are wanting your students to work on, or what kind of books you're wanting to create. You can even add different borders onto this. There's different patterns and textures as well. So that's how you can create a book within Book Creator, or the cover within Book Creator. So then now if I want to go and add a second page, so here is my second page, I can go in and I can even use a pen. So they have tools here to draw with, and this would be really good if you had students who were using iPads, and if you had a stylus or whatever else you could use to write on the iPad to create pages for their books. You can even add different little pictures that are already made here within this section. You can erase, you can just paint everything, the whole background, depending on what you want to do. You can even add different emojis, so it's really up to you depending on what you want to do with your students. It all really depends on what type of book you're wanting your students to create and what content you're wanting to create. Within each of these books, like I said, you can add as many pages as you want. You can add just about anything as well. You can even have your students record, depending on maybe you're doing something with animals or science or social studies and you're wanting them to add in information. So they could record their text within and add it to the book. So the nice part is that these books are going to be really interactive, and your students are going to get the opportunity to really play around and be creative with their books. And I think this is just a really fun way for students to get into really any subject: reading, writing, math, science, social studies. Just depends on what you're wanting them to do. So thanks for watching my really quick tutorial.